What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with part 2 of what it's really like to be homeless. I've got so much to cram into these videos that I'm not going to spend any time recapping part 1. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely click up here, go to part 1, watch that first, otherwise this is going to make no sense. So, where I left off, basically I'm now living with Nick full-time. My brother's gone, and Nick is running one of any number of scams trying to make enough money to repurchase another container of speakers, because we are now down to very limited stock. So during this period of time, he's also selling crystal on the side. Because we're basically living together full-time, that puts me into contact with his supplier. Because I love this guy, and he was a pivotal person in my life. I'm not going to use his real name. We're going to call him Sam. And so I met Sam through Nick. Sam was an older guy. He was probably 20 years older than me, maybe not that much older. I can't remember. He might, yeah, he probably was. He was probably in his late 30s, early 40s, and I was 21 at the time. So I had met this guy because we've been over to his apartment a couple times to pick up our order, and so I had started to develop a relationship with him, because obviously he wanted to know who the fuck this guy was that was coming over to his apartment. Sometimes we'd hang out. He had a rule that anytime you come to his apartment for a pickup, you have to stay for at least 30 minutes, because that's what gets heat on you. When you got traffic coming and going really quickly, it doesn't look good. Your neighbor's gonna fucking call on you. So if you had to go pick up from his apartment, you had to stay for a while. And so Nick and I would occasionally be over there, and this dude, Sam, really liked to throw darts. And so he kind of started befriending me, and he was like, "Hey man, you ever throw darts?" And I was like, "No, I never have." And he's like, "Come on, I'll teach you." And so he starts trying to teach me to throw darts for some reason that I cannot explain, and this only happens to be true on crystal. I am like a fucking dart champion on crystal meth. Like, I have this insane level of focus between eyeball and fingertip, and we played so many games of darts together. My favorite game of all was the Fox and the Hound. You have to look it up, but basically it requires you to be very, very good at darts. You have to be able to hit triples and doubles and bullseyes on command. I start playing darts with this guy who's been playing darts his entire life, and I'm just nailing triples and doubles. And he's looking at me like, "Dude, why the fuck are you trying to hustle me in my own house?" And I was like, "I swear to God, I've never played this game. I don't know fuck all about it." And he became like a father figure, honestly. He was that much older than me, and he just kind of fucking took me under his wing, and he kind of became like a father figure to me. And so we'd be over there all the time, hanging out and fucking getting high and playing darts and having a good time. Sometimes we'd be over there all fucking night long. And so that's how I met Sam, who will be pivotal later on in the story. So then, on the other side, Nick is still trying to hustle to get back flush so that we can continue our speaker business going. So he is running one of a number of fucking scams. Scam number 1 is on Walmart. This is the way scam number 1 goes. Nick goes to Walmart, and he gets a like $250, whatever the most expensive cordless phone he can find, because back in the day, not a lot of technology, okay? You go in the little tiny electronics area at fucking Walmart, and a cordless phone would be one of the more expensive items that you could easily hustle on. So he would get the barcode. I guess he like originally bought like a $250 cordless phone, and he got the barcode off of the phone. And he had a label maker at his house, and he printed, excuse me, I got this backwards. He bought a $20 cheap phone, got the barcode off of it, and printed like sheets of these barcodes that matched like this cheap little cordless phone. Then what he would do is he would go to Walmart, and he would get like a $250 high-tech cordless phone, and he would put his label over the Walmart label, okay? So he would, I'm just telling you what he did. This is the way he taught me. Like, I was with him, watching him do this shit. He would find like a Mexican woman who was working the counter. Like, he would always choose to go through the line of the person he thought was the least likely to have any clue what the fuck was being purchased. Because what he would do is he would put the $20 barcode over the barcode for the expensive cordless phone, and then he would take it through the line, and when she would scan it, it would come up cordless phone, $20. She doesn't fucking know what's up. So she sells him the fucking $250 cordless phone for $20. Well, see, back in the day, you could return shit to Walmart with no receipt. They would just take returns back. If it was a SKU from their store, they would just take the fucking, they would just credit you at the fucking returns counter. So this guy would literally buy a fucking phone, go out the fucking store, come back, he would peel his barcode off, come back into Walmart with their original barcode on it, take it up to the service center, and return it for $250 in cash. So he would spend $20 and make $230 in the fucking transaction. And he would just make the fucking rounds at every Walmart in Dallas running this fucking scam. He did the same thing at Target, except at Target he did it with a lot of different items. He furnished our entire fucking apartment hustling Target with these barcode scams. Target actually ended up busting people who were doing this. I don't know if he was the one that eventually got busted, but I remember reading about it in the news years later. Target was not fucking around. They got hip to the shit that was going on, and they got the security cameras and everything, and they did like a fucking operation, and they busted somebody for doing this shit. So that was one of the scams he was fucking running, was barcode scams at Target and Walmart. The other scam that he was running was at like Dillard's, Macy's, stores like this, where he had a tag gun. So like when you go buy clothes, there's like that little plastic tag that they stuck inside the clothing that's got the label on it that has the price tag. So what he would do is he would get a whole bunch of clothes, and he would take them into the dressing room, and he would carefully take the real price tags off the clothes, and then he had his price tag gun, and he would tag all of the clothes with his barcodes that had cheaper prices on them. He would take the clothes up to the fucking register, he would buy all the clothes, he would take them to the car, replace the fucking tags, go back in, return all the shit for cash, sometimes store credit, depending on what it was. That was how he would furnish places. If he got a store credit, he would just buy a bunch of shit with the credit because it was still free money. So he would have clothes or furnish his apartment or whatever. And so he was constantly running this barcode scam or this tagging scam at multiple different department stores. So basically, his day was hitting up Walmart, Target, and department stores, buying products, and usually he would take them home, return them at different times so as to not, gain suspicion. So the whole time he's doing this shit, we're also selling speakers. I'm staying up for days, nights, weeks on end, and I'm getting paranoid as fuck. I am so strung the fuck out from not sleeping and not eating, and the meth paranoia is setting in a major fucking way. Compounding the situation is the fact that I'm living with this guy who's an absolute con artist who is scamming all of these businesses out of thousands and thousands of dollars of fucking money. And so obviously I'm not just paranoid, I'm legitimately concerned that I'm gonna get in trouble for even being around this guy. I mean, like, I'm not doing any of these transactions, but I'm with this dude the whole time this shit's going on. I'm in the fucking car with him while he's changing stickers and shit. So, like, if we get busted, like, I'm guilty by fucking association, I'm sure. So, when you have a reason to be fucking paranoid, and you've been up for weeks on end, the paranoia just compounds to a degree that you cannot even fucking imagine. I was routinely over fucking amping on amphetamines, and he taught me that you can basically de-amp by drinking alcohol, that you can't really get drunk when you're on fucking amphetamines. So there was a bar down in like Aston Circle is basically like this apartment building that has like the little shops and shit on the bottom floors. And so I could just walk down to this bar. Sometimes I'd get so fucking overamped that I'd walk down to the bar and drink 6 cocktails just trying to fucking bring myself down some so that I could do more fucking dope. Or take a fucking Xanax or something to try to offset the being overly fucking amped and paranoid and fucking skitzing. This shit continued to progress to the point that I started having total psychotic breaks. One time I thought there were like the walkway in our apartment was like covered, but it was free air, if that makes any sense. Like it went through the center of the building and there was access to free air, and I thought bats were fucking collecting and like diving at me inside this fucking the walkway. I was convinced that we were being followed by any number of people. I thought for sure that there was a task force of some kind of agencies that were tracking him. And so my brain was running on fucking high revolutions. And when I'm tweaking, like I'm fucking pattern seeking like a motherfucker. I'm noticing remembering faces, remembering. And the thing is, we're making the rounds. So you're just seeing somebody's face a couple of times in the same city that you live in really doesn't mean shit. But when you're fucking paranoid as shit, when you're seeing shadow people on a regular fucking basis, when you're over amping to the point that you fucking nod out from being too high and then come to when you're like, dude, it's a total fucking disaster. When your entire life is a scam of some kind. You're either riding around with this guy who's fucking straight fleecing businesses to the maximum, and then you're hustling speakers all day during the day. Your entire life is a fucking lie, and the paranoia just kept getting fucking more and more out of control. I had conversations with people that I thought were following me that to this day, I'm not sure those people even existed. There was these 3 kids that I think that I saw at the mall one day, and I was walking through Aston Circle one night, fucking blasted out of my fucking brain, so high you cannot even fucking imagine. And I walked past these 3 kids, and I swear to God, I heard the girl go, "It's that guy." And I fucking panicked, and I turned around and I wheeled on these 3 kids, and I'm like, "Where do you know me from? Where do you know me from?" And I kept trying to talk to them, and they're just standing there like fucking completely blank face, like they're fucking robots. And this was happening right in the middle of Aston Circle. There's restaurants all around me, people sitting on patios. And I was interrogating these 3 kids that to this day, I don't even know if they existed at all. The level of hallucinations I was having was so great that it wasn't just shadow people. Like it was hallucination, full-blown visual hallucinations of things that were absolutely not fucking real. There's so many memories I have from that period that I don't know even what to do with to this day, because I can't know what I manufactured and what I didn't. Every time we were at the mall, when he was doing these scams, like he would go to Dillard's or whatever, and I would just be like walking around the mall waiting for him. And this was back during that period of time where everybody had like Bluetooth, you know? And so it was before like iPod, they had like the little Bluetooth with like a little speaker on the side of their face or whatever. And so I started to notice that it seemed like that everybody that was following me, they always had the Bluetooth. And I was convinced that it was like the fucking FBI, you know, with like the little earwig. And so like I was super paranoid of everyone that was around me. I was journaling out of fucking control. Like I was journaling license plates and fucking faces and descriptions, and I had all of these insane fucking journals. And one day I passed out on the fucking couch because he didn't feed me, and his girlfriend at the time found him, and she freaked the fuck out and told him that I was a psychopath, and she tried to show him all these fucking journals, and he was just like laughing about it, like, yeah, he's a weird guy, whatever. And I had this backpack full of all of these fucking journals with just, like, I had hypergraphia really bad on meth, and I would just fucking journal out of fucking control. And so it was about this time that, so we were making money and he was making money. I was totally indigent. Like I was basically just his wingman. So he bought my food, he paid the rent, he fed me the fucking dope, he carted me around town, but I never had more than a couple of bucks to my fucking name because all the money we made was going into his pot because he was fronting the bills for everything. So I couldn't really say shit because I'm living rent free. I'm not paying for gas, I'm not paying for dope, I'm not paying for food, although I was never fucking eating to begin with. But I'm not paying for shit, so I can't really be asking dude to put money on me. And I didn't care. At that point, I was so fucking addicted. I was just living from one bump to the next. At one point, he would let me start having like a little bit of dope of my own. And I used to have this little metal cigarette tin that had like a razor blade and my little straw and my little baggie in there. It was like my little tweet kit. And all the fucking people we ran around with just thought I was a total fucking lunatic. I had, like, my eyes were bugged the fuck out of my head. There was this guy, Joel, we used to go to his apartment all the time, and he'd be like, get those fucking bug eyes off me. Don't fucking come in my house with those fucking bug eyes on me. You freak me out with those bug eyes. Because I was just, like, ripped out of my fucking skull all the time. Super paranoid. Like, I was just, like, this novelty item, I think. And so he had this whole network of friends, and they were fucking girls, and they were doing all this stuff, and I didn't care about anything but the drug and my fucking journals. And so he would take me to some fucking apartment, and there would be like a party going on, and I would just be like on the couch, just like just by myself, and they would fuck with me, and I was just like the fucking I don't know. The shit just got on top of me. Like, I'm not a social person at all on uppers. Like, I just literally want to go hole up in a fucking closet. I will study and research until I fucking die. I cannot tell you the number of hours I sat up in the middle of the night while he was actually sleeping with his girlfriend or fucking his girlfriend, just watching Animal Planet, just fucking in that shit. Just like completely fucking invested in Animal Planet. I can tell you so much shit about animals that live in fucking Africa. My wife last night was showing me this. She's like, what the fuck? She had this thing on her phone, and it's an animal called a pangolin. And I'm like, hey, I know that guy. Guarantee you I saw that shit in the middle of a fucking meth bender on fucking Animal Planet back in the day. So where this story starts to fucking get to a head is I start going with him to Steve. We're going to him. I'm going with him occasionally to Steve's house, and I start to fucking. He starts trying to run scams on Steve. So he starts trying to sell speakers to Steve in exchange for dope, and he's massively inflating the prices to Steve. Oh fuck! I said his name. It doesn't matter. The guy's name was Steve. There's a million fucking Steves in the world. What fucking difference does it make? So he was fucking massively, he was trying to scam Steve. And you got to remember, Steve had become like a father figure to me. This guy had taken me under his wing, and I really liked Steve. Like, me and my dad had no relationship. This guy seemed to get me. He did, like, you know, he would play darts with me. He used to take me to the gun range. He would do shit with me like my dad didn't have fuck all to do with me when I was growing up. Like, he was just into sports, and I wasn't a good athlete. And so, like, we never really saw eye to eye. And so I always gravitated toward older males that I could have some kind of, like, father-son relationship with. And when Nick tried to fuck Steve over, it started getting under my skin, and that started driving a wedge between us. And I remember one night we went over to his house, and he traded a bunch of speakers for a whole bunch of fucking dope, and they were having me do the wiring because I'd been an electrician, and I was like the smart guy in the group. That was the big reason that I was around, is because I was like the smart guy, and this was a pack of fucking morons that were trying to, you know, make ends meet. And so, like, that was, like, I guess my role in the fucking in the group. And so I'm wiring up all these speakers and getting all this stuff set up, and Steve's like, hey man, you know, do you want to hit this? And Nick's like, he doesn't fucking smoke. And Steve's like, that's all right, I'll give you some to snort. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And he breaks out this line, and Nick was feeding me like these lines, like these little, like, these little lines. And Steve breaks out this line, and I'm like, dude, I can't do all that. He's like, yeah, you can. You're good, man. I'm like, how much is that? They call it cents. He called it 30 cents. So 30 cents was 0.3 grams. At this time, I probably had somewhere between 1/2 of a gram and 3/4 of a gram of a day habit. Is probably where I was at this time, okay? And he just broke out basically half, the volume of meth that was there was about half of what I would do in an entire day. And I'm like, dude, I can't do all that. He's like, yeah, you can. You're good, man. He's like, if you don't do it, it's fine. It's, it's no pressure, but it's yours. And so, what are you gonna do, right? It's dad there, He just hooked you up. Like, what are you gonna do? So, I fucking lean over and take it to the dome. I got fucking chills all over my back right now, fucking 24 years later. I got so fucking high on that. I didn't know it was possible for a human body to feel that way. I was ripped in every fucking sense of the word. I mean, every single dopamine receptor in my entire brain in that moment had to have been totally saturated with that drug. And this shit was coming straight from the cartels. This shit was as pure can fucking get. I know this because because of what you'll find out later in the fucking story. I did that fucking line, and that was the end of my fucking sanity on this planet. It broke me. I thought I was getting high. I thought I was addicted. When my brain got saturated with that fucking line, words just cannot fucking express what that fucking did to me. I must have been literally flying around that apartment. I'm pretty sure I levitated the whole time that I was wiring up those fucking speakers. I mean, I know somebody in the audience knows what the fuck I'm talking about. There's no way to express how fucking good I felt in that goddamn moment. And that set a new bar. And so my use started to increase after that. And so now my addiction is stronger, and I need to feed it more. And so now I'm starting to care more about getting my own money. At this point, I have been up for, after that night, I was all the way in at that point, and I was doing probably a gram a day minimum, and I had been up for 30 days, I think, 29 or 30 consecutive days when I went to Nick and was like, hey man, I need to get some money of my own. And he's like, oh, okay, like what do you want to do? And I was like, well, let me get on the game, let me deal, let me take care of some fucking clients. And he was like, okay, you want to do that? Like, I got you. He was like, his girl been nagging him for some fucking alone time because I was always up their fucking ass. And so he gives me this fucking big ass amount of meth and keys to his car, tells me where to take it. He's like, go meet this girl, drop it off, get the money, come back, and I'll cut you in. I don't even fucking remember the details. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so, because I think I'm about to graduate in the game. And I get in that fucking car, and I am spun to the fucking max. I've been up for a month straight. 30 consecutive days, no fucking sleep, not a wink. I do not know what fucking planet I'm on. My grip with reality is totally fucking fractured, and I have been taking Xanax and alcohol and all kinds of things to try to counteract and stay fucking sane, but there was really no sanity left in me. And so I start driving in this fucking car to this delivery, and the longer I'm in the car, the more paranoid I get. And my brain starts talking to me, why was that so easy? Like, why? He didn't even argue with you. He just like gave you this giant amount of dope to just go take to these fucking people that you don't know. And like, why would they trust you? Like, did he call? Did he tell them that you're coming? Like, Like, this is a big fucking deal you're getting ready. This is not like a nickel and dime bag. Like, this is ounces of drugs. This is a major fucking felony. Like, why is this so easy? And so I start to get concerned that it's a setup. I start get concerned that his girl wants us. Everybody wants me out of the picture, basically, because I'm basically just a hang around. I don't have any money. Like, I'm just kind of living off this dude, and he's, like, I'm concerned he's trying to get fucking rid of me. And so I start panicking, and I mean panicking. And so I keep going. I keep trying to like get myself straight. Try to like stay sane. And I'm driving this car, and it was over in like Irving area of Dallas. And I go to get to the part, I'm coming up on my exit where I'm going to exit and go left under the fucking bridge and go straight to this dead end road and make a right. And there's this house that I've been to before that I'm going to go make this delivery at. And as I'm approaching my exit, on the other side of the highway in a parking lot, there's 2 fucking Irving police officers in their cars with the fucking lights on. And they're sitting in the fucking parking lot. And my brain goes, this is a fucking sting. This is a setup. Those cop cars are sitting right on my fucking exit. And when I make this left and I go past those cop cars, they're gonna pull out behind me. They're gonna follow me to this dead end road. There's gonna be more cops waiting. I'm gonna get out of the fucking car. They're gonna be, they're hidden or whatever, and they're gonna bust me. And I'm getting ready to get fucking. They're gonna have me. Like I've got fucking ounces, plural, of meth on me. I'm gonna go away for the rest of my fucking life, is what I think. And so I completely lose my fucking shit and I abort the fucking mission. I fucking jump off the highway. I go the wrong way, away from my fucking turn. I weave crazy through a bunch of fucking neighborhoods. I get back on the fucking highway and I'm panicking. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know where to go. I'm completely out of my fucking mind. And so I drive to this area where my grandparents live, and I basically parked the car like a couple of streets over, and I called fucking Nick from my cell phone. I was like, I can't do it. And he's like, what the? He's been blowing my fucking cell phone up, like blowing. Where the fuck are you at? What the fuck are you doing? He's just completely losing his shit. Finally, I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it. Like, I don't know whether I told him what my paranoid delusion was or not, but I completely lost my shit. I abandoned the car. I put all the shit under the seat, and I told him where the car was, and I was like, I'm done. I'm out. I fucking can't do it. Obviously he's like, fuck you. He wants to kill me. And so I walked to my grandparents' house, and it's now like, 4:30 or something in the fucking morning, and they live in this little townhome, and I go inside their little gate, and I walk up on the patio, and I curl up on the fucking patio, and I fall asleep. And the next thing I know, I wake up, and my grandfather has come out to get the fucking paper, and it's like 6:30 in the morning, and he wakes me up, and he looked at me with this fucking face I'd never seen in my life. My grandfather's a very, very hard man, and he took me inside, and he took me to the bedroom, to their spare bedroom, and he was like, he told me to get in bed, and I got in bed, and I fell asleep, and I slept for 3 consecutive fucking days. For 3 days straight, I slept in that bed, and I never got out. And I only know this because when I finally woke up, my grandmother told me that I had slept for 3 consecutive days, and that they thought I was dying. They thought I was dying, and they didn't take me to the hospital, thankfully, and they had not called my dad. They said they didn't want to worry him, and so I came walking out of the bedroom in the evening one night after sleeping for 3 consecutive days, and sat down in front of my grandparents to explain why it was that at that point I was about 100 to 110 pounds, 5'10", wraith that looked like I was on the verge of absolutely dropping dead where I stood or where I sat. So that's where I'll leave you, and in the next episode I will tell you what happens next in this story, and eventually we're going to get to the part where I'm actually really and truly homeless. but that will be coming up later. So as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.